भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। So we are going to discuss from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 11, verse 48. Krishna is speaking this verse. न वेद यज्ञ अध्यान नादानेर maybe some another tune. न वेद यज्ञ अध्यान नादानेर न च क्रियाभिर्न तपोभिर्उग्रैः एवं रूप शक्य अहं न लोके द्रष्टुं त्वदन्य कुरु परवीरा. Word to word meaning. Na, never. Veda yajna, by sacrifice. Adhyena, or Vedic study. Na, never. Danehe, by charity. Na, never. Cha, also. Kriyabhi, by pious activities. Na, never. Tapobhi, by serious penances. Ugrahai, severe. Evam rupaha, in this form. Shakyaha, can. Aham, I. Nriloke, in this material world. Drashtom, be seen. Tvat, then you. Anyena, by another. Kuru Pravira, O best among the Kuru warriors. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So please hear first. O best of the Kuru warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of mine. For neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifice, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances, can I be seen in this form in the material world. Please repeat after me. O best of the Kuru warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of mine. For neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances, can I be seen in this form in the material world. Purport. Very beautiful and wonderful purport. Please hear it carefully and you can read also. The divine vision in this connection should be clearly understood. Who can have divine vision? Divine means godly. Unless one attains the status of divine of divinity as a demigod. He cannot have divine vision. And what is a demigod? It is stated in the Vedic scriptures that those who are devotees of Lord Vishnu are demigods. Vishnu Bhakta Smrito Devaha. Those who are atheistic, IQ, who do not believe in Vishnu or who recognize only the impersonal part of Krishna as the Supreme, cannot have the divine vision. It is not possible to decry Krishna at the same time have the divine vision. One cannot have the divine vision without becoming divine. In other words, those who have divine vision can also see like Arjuna. The Bhagavad Gita gives the description of the universal form, although this description was unknown to everyone before Arjuna. Now one can have some idea of the Vishwarup after this incident. Those who are actually divine can see the universal form of the Lord, but one cannot be divine without being a pure devotee of Krishna. The devotees, however, who are actually in the divine nature and who have divine vision are not very much interested in seeing the universal form of the Lord. As described in the previous verse, Arjuna desired to see the four-handed form of Lord Krishna as Vishnu, and he was actually afraid of universal form. In this verse, there are some significant words, just like Ved, Yajna, Adhyana, which refers to studying Vedic literature and the subject matter of sacrificial regulations. Veda refers to all kinds of Vedic literature, such as the four Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Sam and Atharva, and the 18 Puranas, the Upanishads and the Vedanta Sutra. One can study these at home or anywhere else. Similarly, there are sutras, Kalpa Sutras and Mimamsa Sutras, for studying the method of sacrifice. Danaha refers to charity which is offered to a suitable party, such as those who are engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas. Similarly, pious activities refer to the Agnihotra and the prescribed duties of the different castes. And the voluntarily acceptance of some bodily pain is called tapasya. So, one can perform all these, can accept bodily penance. Please, these are very important lines. Can accept bodily penances, give charity, study the Vedas, etc. But unless he is a devotee like Arjuna, it is not possible to see that universal form. Those who are impersonalists are also imagining that they are seeing the universal form of the Lord. But from Bhagavad Gita, we understand that the impersonalists are not the devotees. Therefore, they are unable to see the universal form of the Lord. There are many persons who create incarnations. They falsely claim an ordinary human to be an incarnation. But this is all foolishness. We should follow the principle of Bhagavad Gita, otherwise there is no possibility of attaining perfect spiritual knowledge. Although Bhagavad Gita is considered the preliminary study of science of God, still it is so perfect that it enables one to distinguish what is what. The followers of Pseudo incarnation may say that they have also seen the transcendental incarnation of God, the universal form, but that is unacceptable because it is clearly stated here that unless one becomes a devotee of Krishna, one cannot see the universal form of God. So one first of all has to become a pure devotee of Krishna, then he can claim that he can show the universal form of what he has seen. A devotee of Krishna cannot accept false incarnations or followers of false incarnations. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapad Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitantam Sajivam Savadaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So it's like 4 paragraph purport, and if you will read carefully the whole purport of Srila Prabhupada, then we will find that Prabhupada is giving so much how you call impetus, or he is pointing out to becoming a pure devotee in all 4 purports. He started first purport with the who is called divine, who can be called divine, and very clearly he says those who worship Vishnu, they can be called only divine. If somebody is worshipping somebody else, they are not called divine. Clearly Prabhupada says, and then he gives some reference also. But and then in the shloka, Krishna is saying, who can see me? He gives different parts of knowledge, or people like to follow those things. But Krishna says no. If you follow these things, then you cannot become divine. Very clearly, especially first 2 paragraphs, he clearly says who is divine or who can become devotee, or who can be get this eligibility to see universal form, or Vishnu, or let us say in final Krishna, who was standing in front of Arjuna. So when we talk about, let us say, who can become devotee, or what is the way of becoming devotee, what is the It's a science of becoming a devotee. That what Prabhupada very clearly explained in the third paragraph. When he gives the meanings of all words. First he explained what does it mean, the adhyan, what does it mean, yajna, dhyaya, which refer to studying of Vedic literature, and then he explained different part. And then finally what I told you in between also when I was studying purport, please be careful. Then what he says in the third paragraph, if you go in the last, so one can perform all these, can accept bodily penances, one can do wonderful austerities. We do, at least if you will stay in Bharatavarsha, and if you have chance to go to Kumbh Mela, then you can see people doing such austerity we cannot even imagine that. They have fire around them and they're standing in between in hot season, and in winter they will stand in cold water, ice water. Last time I saw some viral video also, like on YouTube, they show some sadhu who is right in the whole Himalaya above, where nobody is there. Only you can see that person, and he is only just wearing one cloth and is walking there. So if we perform that type of tapasya, Prabhupada says no, you cannot become divine. You see, this is Prabhupada's compassion on conditioned souls. Because normally those who comes in spirituality, they think this is spirituality. Even nowadays, until and unless somebody connect with ISKCON or Gaudiya Vaishnava or devotees who are preaching like this, people will not understand. Still they become very impressed if somebody has a big hair, big beard, and if hair is like met, how you call? Jata bani hoti hai jaise. If he is a jatadhari. So people become very impressed. People think this is, general people think this is spirituality. Yes, it can be some part of spirituality, but one will not get the goal of spirituality. And the jiva who is looking for happiness, who wants to become happy, that's why he's trying so many things. And that's one of the reason person comes in spirituality. Because he finds there is no happiness. So they come in spirituality. And if they will go to that direction, then at least it's very difficult. First of all, person will do so much austerity, still he will not get the complete satisfaction of the heart. That's why Prabhupada very purposefully first he explained word by word every meaning, and then he write. But unless he is devotee like Arjuna, it is not possible to see that universal form. This is one part I just checked, like penance or austerity, tapasya. But there is giving charity. People give so much charity. So much charity. You have been in Delhi temple, somebody? Delhi Radha Parthasarthi temple? No? Just behind the temple you have seen the Lotus temple, which is called Lotus temple. You just imagine how much money must have you spent to make this Lotus temple. It's such a wonderful architect, they say. It is they call this one of the very beautiful architects of world now. So it's charity. People gave money, somebody must have given money, that's how this temple came up now. Such a big temple, big area, and then maintenance, and the people inside working or serving, maintain them. So much hard-earned money must be going on there. But sorry to say, they will not be able to get their goal. That's what Prabhupada wants to give attention. Where we have to give charity, what we have to do tapasya, which type of tapasya, and then study of the Vedas. This is one of the most, let us say, thing which come in our society also. Some people have that belief that if they will become Sanskrit scholar and if they can, like, word to word, when if they will explain very nicely, then the life will be successful. Here Prabhupada says no. Studies of the Vedas. No. I'm not talking about the other people who are reading different types of Vedas, this and that. They are definitely not going to get, first of all, peace of heart, or heart of whatever this is. They will not get the peacefulness in the heart. They will not be fully happy. They will not be satisfied. Because Krishna himself is saying this thing. If Krishna himself is saying this thing, so how these people like, or devotees who are going in that direction? Please don't take it otherwise that I am criticizing studying Sanskrit. It's not like that. But having this consciousness that I will read, means to say I will understand Shastra on this way, by studying or by reading different commentaries. No. Like if, and this is not that only Krishna is saying, Lord Chaitanya have shown in his pastimes only, because Lord Chaitanya came to teach us. Krishna told only, but Krishna knew whole Sanskrit. Krishna knew all the language, by the way, and is speaking in Sanskrit here only. But Lord Chaitanya came to teach us how to do. So when what is the famous pastime of Lord Chaitanya with Sanskrit scholar person? Yes, Karta Mishra Mataji. He went to Lord Chaitanya's famous pastime with biggest Sanskrit personality. He challenged Prabhupada. Oh, he challenged, Lord Chaitanya. No, Ramananda Rai was a devotee. We were discussing. No. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was also there, but he was a Digvijay. Keshav Bharati. Yes, Mataji, thank you very much. Keshav Bharati pastime. So let us read from Keshav Bharati's pastime little bit. We have done. How Lord Chaitanya and what he says about this. You see, this is from Adi Leela, chapter 16, from verse 32 to 52. I will not read all the verses. I will just read some translation, and then the final what I want to explain, that verse I will try to read. This is Keshav Bharati saying. He is saying, I understand that you teach Kalap Vyakarana. Who knows what is Kalap Vyakarana? Anybody here? I also don't know. Sorry. I have heard that your students are very expert in word jugglery of this grammar. Who is saying this? This is Keshav Kashmiri is saying to Lord Chaitanya. Na Prabhu kahe vyakaran padai abhiman kari shishya na bhujayami bhujete nari. The Lord says, yes, I am known as a teacher of grammar, but factually I cannot impress my student with grammatical knowledge, nor can they understand me very well. You see Lord Chaitanya mood here? Clearly he says, no. Even Lord Chaitanya was first class, he knew everything. But still, the mood and the principle what he want to explain to us. Then, my dear sir, whereas you are a very learned scholar in all sorts of scriptures and very much experienced in composing poetry, I am only a boy, a new student and nothing more. This is Lord Chaitanya says. Therefore, I desire to hear your skill in composing poetry. We could hear this if you would mercifully describe the glory of Mother Ganga. So Lord Chaitanya is making कटाक्ष कहते हैं उसको, हिंदी में कहते हैं ना व्यंग करना. You see, mercifully you explain me about the Mother Ganges. So Lord Chaitanya first making him high, okay, go high. When the Brahman Keshav Kashmari heard this, he became still puffed up, more puffed up. And within 1 hour he composed 100 verses describing Mother Ganges. 1 hour. Shuniya karila Prabhu bahut satkar, Tuma sama prithvi te kavi nahi aar. The Lord praised him, saying, Sir, there is no greater poet than you in the entire world. Again, he make him puffed up more. This is the way Krishna deal with the jivas who are especially have ego. Because Krishna knows that's the biggest obstacle to come to him. So he use all techniques to break our ego. Doesn't matter what service we are doing. You can ask anybody. Either you can ask who are making garland, Mataji. Either you can ask from person who are serving prasadam. Even the person who is cleaning plate. Krishna use. If anybody somehow other engage in the service, Krishna will use everything to break ego. That's all. Nothing else. Even if you are speaking, even somebody is hearing, the whole goal is to break or come to our real senses. What is our real sense? That I am a servant of a servant of a servant of Krishna. Then Tomara kavita shloka bhujite kara shakti tumi bhala jana artha kimva saraswati. Your poetry is so difficult that no one can understand it but you and Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning. But if you explain the meaning of one verse, we can all hear it from your own mouth and thus be happy. The Digvijay Keshav Kashmiri inquired which verse he wanted explained. The Lord then recited one of the 100 verses Keshav Kashmiri had composed. Keshav Kashmiri asked, which verse you want? Immediately Lord Chaitanya says 100 verse. He became astonished. Keshav Kashmiri, what? The greatness of Mother Ganges always brilliantly exists. She is the most fortunate because she emanated from the lotus feet of Sri Vishnu, the personality of Godhead. She is second goddess of fortune and therefore she is always worshipped both by demigods, by humanity. Endowed with all wonderful qualities, she flourishes on the head of Lord Shiva. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him to explain the meaning of this verse, the champion, very much astonished, inquired from him as follows. So he was like astonished, and then Lord Chaitanya told, then after this Keshav Kashmiri says, there is not a tinge of fault in that verse, rather it has the good qualities of smiles and alliteration, whatever he is saying. But Lord says, my dear sir, I may something to you if you will not become angry. You see, this is the etiquette. Lord, if somebody wants to correct somebody, Keshav Kashmiri is very wonderful, let us say, scholar. And Lord Chaitanya is a small person, small boy. So if we are going to correct somebody, or let us say if this person is asking, correct me, this is the way. Very humbly he is saying, please, my dear sir, he says, my dear sir, Prabhu kahe, kahi yadi na karen rosh, don't become angry. Because normally if somebody has knowledge and this and that, if somebody low person correct him, immediately, at least in me anger comes. If somebody new Bhakta says, Prabhu, you were sleeping in japa. Acha, who are you to correct me? But here Lord Chaitanya, before correcting, he is saying, don't become angry. Please. Then, there is no doubt that your poetry is full of ingenuity, and certainly it has satisfied the Supreme Lord. Yet if scrutinizingly considered, if we can find both good qualities and fault. Then Keshav Kashmiri became little angry really. It's not easy to not become angry. Especially when you have a, let us say, very good knowledge, or if you think, somebody think that I know, and if somebody knows Sanskrit also, if somebody knows many languages, and if you correct, it's not easy to not become angry. And especially if somebody, like a boy, is correcting you. Then he says, you are an ordinary student of grammar. What do you know about literary embellishment? You cannot revive this poetry because you do not know anything about this. And this what I want to do specially. Whole this like conversation, we see Lord Chaitanya is very humble. He is not like showing himself. And he is not like saying that I know grammar or no. He says, I cannot satisfy my student by grammar. He clearly said this in the beginning. Now what he said is very nice. Prabhupada write also purport, beautiful purport. He says, Lord Chaitanya says, Nahi padi alankar kari achi shramana tate shloke dekhi bahu dosha guna. How he found dosh and guna? How he could find the fault and like good qualities in this? He says, this is the reason. He didn't say I read. First he says, certainly I have not studied the art of literary embellishment, but I have heard about it from higher circles. This is the principle of learning, spiritual knowledge. But I have heard about it from higher circle, and thus I can revive this verse and find it many faults and many good qualities. That's what we are doing here. Shravana. That's what Lord Chaitanya says here. And here Prabhupada purport. Very nice purport. The statement Kari Achi Shravana, I have heard it, is very important in the sense that hearing is, please hear it carefully. You can tell others also. This is from Adi Leela, chapter 16, verse 52. The statement Kari Achi Shravan, I have heard it, is very important in the sense that hearing is more important than directly studying or perceiving. You see, Lord Prabhupada is writing this. If one is expert in hearing and hear from the right source, his knowledge is immediately become perfect. You see? This process is called Shruta Panthaha, or the acquisition of knowledge by hearing from authorities. All Vedic knowledge is based on the principle that one must approach a bona fide spiritual master and hear from him. Tat Vedi Panipatena Pariprashena Sevaya. Updikshati te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshana. This is the principle here. What Lord Chaitanya himself showing. Krishna told this thing, Lord Chaitanya is showing. Hear from the authoritative statement of the Vedas. It is not necessary for one, you again please hear it very carefully again. It is not necessary for one to be highly polished literary man to receive knowledge. To receive perfect knowledge from a perfect person, one must be an expert in hearing. This is called the descending process of deductive knowledge or Avaroha Pantha. So that's what Prabhupada is giving in this purport. He purposefully took the every word, he explained the meaning of word, but then he said, but one cannot become divine unless one becomes devotee like Arjuna. Arjuna was not like a very scholarly person. He was Kshatriya. Kshatriya don't study so much. Brahmanas, they were this, but he is glorified till now and he will be glorified till then, whatever time immemorial. Why? Because he just follow what Krishna says. Even at such a point, it's very easy to hear and like, oh, his son was killed by five persons. like 5. Just here. Let us imagine, put that situation on ourselves. We have a son who is a wonderful, I hope everybody is a family person, even if not family person, one can imagine that thing. Even that situation one can put on brother or mother or whoever. I'm trying to, let us say, talking with some people. One lady's young brother, 38-year-old, he just left body on Saturday because of corona. She requested me, please pray this and then, and I tried to arrange prayer in nursing like Mayapur. I told, and we did pray also, but still his brother left body. And he immediately wrote me WhatsApp, Prabhuji, everything is finished. I lost faith in Krishna. You see? But Arjuna, his son was killed in the battle with Maharathis, and still he didn't left like fighting. He's no, Krishna, what is this? What I gain by following you? You see, my son is died, like brutally he died, or illegally, or how you call it, not properly fought. We never had this type of statement from Arjuna or even from our Srila Prabhupada. We see Prabhupada so much struggle for preaching Krishna consciousness. It is very easy to say that his wife sold his manuscript for tea. Again, I will say, put this thing on yourself, self-realization. You wrote something very nicely, putting your whole, and your wife sold it for tea. What will happen? Person become mad. And if we see Prabhupada's struggle in Delhi, when he was distributing back to Godhead and sunstroke, at the age of around 70, it's like unimaginable. They are struggle for Krishna. So until one become like this, devotee like Arjuna, like Srila Prabhupada, and his followers, those who are still doing, we can see His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. There is not a single day that he doesn't preach. Every day is in the evening he is giving class. And we heard that whenever he was in a hospital, there also he was giving classes. Because this is the order of their spiritual master to preach. Like a person comes from all the way America, completely different atmosphere, different weather, different language, different food. The person spent whole life there. Have you heard about Pankaj Jahangir Prabhu? You see? Prabhupada said, you will not go out of this compound, this Mayapur temple. Whole life they spent there. Be a pujari, they were pujaris. This is dedication. They were not Sanskrit scholars. So that's what Prabhupada wants to give from his books to everybody. And those who are practicing, they are getting the result. No matter from where they come, no matter in which atmosphere they took birth, no matter which language they learn, but they follow what Prabhupada says, success is there. That's what he is saying in his purport. And proof of this, again in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Everybody knew this, but still, for our purification we can read. We all knew this pastime of this Brahman when Lord Chaitanya was in South India. This Brahman didn't know language, means to say Sanskrit or whatever, in which language he had book, I don't know. But whatever book, he could not pronounce shloka properly. So, In the holy place of Sri Rangam Kshetra, a Brahman Vaishnava used to visit the temple daily and recite the entire text of Bhagavad Gita. अष्टाध्याय पढ़े आनंद आवेशे, अशुद्ध पढ़े न लोक करे उपहासे. You see, the Brahman regularly read the 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita in great transcendental ecstasy. But because he could not pronounce the words correctly, people used to joke about him. Please mind, this thing is happening in South India in Sri Rangashetra temple. And South Indian people are well known for their Sanskrit pronunciation. If somebody wants to learn how to pronounce Sanskrit shlokas or meter or this and that, he has to go to South India. Even our His Holiness Gurukul Jo Bhakti Vidyapurna Maharaj, he himself went to South India to learn how to pronounce shlokas. And the same place this Brahman is reciting, and he doesn't know how to recite shlokas. So what would be his position at that time? People were humiliating him. What type of person you are? You call yourself Brahman, you don't know how to read shlokas? But still he was reading. Why he was reading? Kahe hase, kahe ninde. It is ninde means they were criticizing him. Tahe nahi mane, avishtahana gita pade, anandita mane. Due to his incorrect pronunciation, people sometimes criticize him and laughed at him, but he did not care. This is called determination. He was full of ecstasy due to reading Bhagavad Gita and was personally very happy. That's what I wanted to tell you in the beginning. He is not doing any tapasya. He is not standing in between fire. He is not sitting in or standing in cold water. And he is not breaking his head and learning something, meters or something. No grammar. What he is doing is trying to read Bhagavad Gita, which he doesn't know how to read. Pulakashru kampa sveda yavata pathana. You know, Gaur Govind Maharaj used to speak like this. I just reminding him. Pulakashru kampa sveda yavata pathana. Dekhi anandit hoila Mahaprabhu mana. While reading the book, the Brahman experienced transcendental bodily transformation. His hair stood on end, tears welled in his eyes, and his body trembled and perspired as he read. Seeing this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very happy. Mahaprabhu puchite tare Shuna Mahashaya Kaun arth jani tomar Eta sukha hoya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked the Brahman, my dear sir, again you see Lord Chaitanya is so sweet. He's saying, my dear sir. He's not saying, oh Brahman. He's saying, my dear sir, why are you in such an ecstatic love? Which portion of Bhagavad Gita gives you such a transcendental pleasure? Vipra kahe mukami Shabdarth nahi jani Shuddha Shuddha Gita padi Guru Agya mani. This is the point. The Brahman replied, I am illiterate and therefore do not know the meaning of the words. Sometimes I read Bhagavad Gita correctly and sometimes incorrectly. But in any case, I am doing this in compliance with the order of my spiritual master. You see? This is the key of success. Prabhupada gave here purport also. So, and this we see in the life of Prabhupada disciples also. In Prabhupada's life he showed this thing. We know whole Prabhupada Lilamrit. That's why we always say, like devotees and also those who join, please read Prabhupada Lilamrit. One must read Prabhupada Lilamrit. the struggle and the determination, the faith. I heard this Prabhupada says in this, when he was on the, what was that? Which place? Where Prabhupada landed? Boston? Yeah, Boston. Used to say, all, Prabhupada said, Bhakti nahi Veda nahi, Nama khuba daro, Bhakti Vedant Nama eva, Sarthak karo. Srila Prabhupada said this. Say, I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge, but I have a strong faith in holy name of Krishna. I have been designated as Bhakti Vedanta, and now if you like, Prabhupada saying to Krishna or Gauranga Mahaprabhu, you can fulfill the real purport of Bhakti Vedanta. Prabhupada also is saying, I don't have any knowledge, I don't have any bhakti. And when we see the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, I'm sorry Mataji, I forget Maharaj's name. I really admire him. Your Guru Maharaj's name. Bhakti Tirth. I heard, if I would be wrong, you can correct me. I heard from the devotees that devotees were saying, no, please, we can take you to Vrindavan or Mayapur, you can leave your body there. He says, no, I want to leave body here because I want to show that wherever Krishna's temple is, it is not different from Vrindavan. And I want to show others that they should preach in US or wherever Guru says. You see, this is the determination. Gaur Govind Maharaj, Prabhupada met him and he said, you opened temple in Bhubaneswar. Gaur Govind Maharaj said, but I don't know anybody, I don't have any money. Prabhupada said, I also didn't know anybody and I didn't have also money. Just go. And he just went. You see? So this is what Prabhupada wanted to tell us, what Krishna is saying. So that's why we must read Prabhupada purport very attentively with the praying for mood, and then Krishna will show something, and maybe we will also go in the same path, or we will follow the footsteps of whatever Gurujan and devotees are doing. 6:30, thank you very much. Any question?
Answer was what was the answer of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he heard the Brahman that I may be right, I may be wrong?
Oh, very good. Thank you very much. You must know that. That's why you want to ask. The answer of Lord Chaitanya was remove that. Very nice. 16th chapter, 9th chapter. Verse was, wait, just 1 minute. See, Krishna, Matasmriti Jnana Panavancha. Now I am taking Madhya Lila in my hand and I am looking for Adi Lila there. Now I thought 16th chapter is disappeared. No, it's here. I'm sorry. It is in Madhya Lila. Chapter 9. Very nice answer Lord Chaitanya gave. Very nice. It's beautiful. Just give me 1 second. But the principle was same. The principle is what Lord Chaitanya showed there also. And here also this Brahman told that he is following the order of his Guru Maharaj. Here it is, 96. Then 99. Lord Chaitanya, sorry. What Lord Chaitanya says. First Brahman says, the Brahman continued, actually I only see a picture of Lord Krishna sitting on a chariot as Arjun charioteer. Taking this reins in his hand, he appears very beautiful and blackish. When I see the picture of Lord Krishna sitting in a chariot and instructing Arjuna, I am filled with ecstatic happiness. As long as I read Bhagavad Gita, I simply see the Lord's beautiful feature. It is for this reason that I am reading Bhagavad Gita, and my mind cannot be distracted from this. Then Lord Chaitanya said, Prabhu kahe Gita pathe तुम्हारा अधिकार तुम्ही से जाना है गीतार्थ सार. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told the Brahman, indeed you are an authority in the reading of Bhagavad Gita. He said, you are an authority. People, devotees or people in general or whoever, they should learn from you how to read Bhagavad Gita. He is saying authority. Lord Chaitanya is saying, you are the authority. You are an authority in the reading of Bhagavad Gita. Whatever you know constitute the real purport of Bhagavad Gita. And then Prabhupada gave her purport. After saying this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced the Brahman, and the Brahman, catching the lotus feet of the Lord, began to cry. And then this Brahman stayed there with Mahaprabhu 4 months. He stayed there with him. Because this Venkat Bhatt house Lord Chaitanya stayed. One last time I forget about this also, like I was asking Mataji also. We know this, our Bhaktivedanta manor, how it opened. 6 people went there. They were just maybe, how many years? Maybe 1 year old in Krishna consciousness, 2 years old. Mother Yamuna Mataji, Shyama Sundar Prabhu, Malati Mataji and who else? Mataji was telling me. Malati Mataji, Janaki Mataji, Mukunda Prabhu, they all 6 went, Shyama Sundar Prabhu, they all 6. What they knew about Bhagavad Gita? What? Nothing. But they have such a firm faith in the orders of spiritual master Srila Prabhupada. They just went there and you see, miracle happened. So this one we should like imbibe in our heart. Again I am like saying this, like it's not that I am criticizing the person who are learning Sanskrit or they know Sanskrit. It's not like that. But the consciousness should be like this: if I learn Sanskrit, then how to glorify Srila Prabhupada. Once Shivaram Maharaj, His Holiness Shivaram Maharaj came here many years before I am telling you this here. And he wrote these books, Na Parayaham, about like Krishna is saying to gopis that I cannot repay you. He wrote a book on this, wonderful book. And then after writing, he says, after class, devotees were asking something, but he says, whenever I read these commentaries of other acharyas, then I feel so much proud in my heart that I am a disciple of His Holiness, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. That he gave everything in his books. He said, whatever we read here and there, but Prabhupada condensed that and then give in a very simple language so everybody can take the benefit of that. So this is the glory of learning whatever language, Sanskrit or whatever you want. If somebody has that mood, then it's wonderful. Then he can make miracles like Shivaram Maharaj is doing. Thank you. Yes, Prabhu.
Actually, in this purport, in the 3rd paragraph.
What?
3rd paragraph of this.
3rd paragraph.
It is said that one can study these at home or anywhere else. Literature such as 4 Vedas, Puranas, 15 Puranas, Upanishad, Vedanta Sutra. So, but we understand that generally we have to come to Guru, self-realized soul, or some the
Yeah.
Shiksha Guru,
Yeah.
temple. So how is Prabhupada writing there that one can study these at home, or anywhere else? If you can, at home, what is how we can
No,
study on our own Vedas, Puranas?
Yeah, Prabhupada is writing, you can read anywhere. But he is not saying that you don't read not under guidance. He didn't write this, no? You can read. Means to say, one should not take this statement like this, or Prabhupada is giving this freedom where I can read by my own. No. That's why he is clarifying in next lines also. One should become like a devotee. He's saying you can read anywhere. It's not that you have to come in ISKCON only to study this. When people are now later like this pandemic or whatever, everybody is in home. They are hearing, they are reading. But the thing is that they are in some under guidance. When somebody study, we read Bhagavad Gita, we read Srimad Bhagavatam. Why? Because Prabhupada told us. Our Guru Acharyas are saying us. If we in that mood, if we study, then these books will reveal themselves. And if you are reading, no, I have to become scholar. Now I have to know whole 700 verses, and I have to explain very nicely this and that. Then these books will not reveal us. It will not be revealed. Transcendental knowledge is revealed. You cannot get it. Out of mercy, when they become merciful by our efforts, when we surrender, then they reveal themselves. When somebody reads, then it is revealed. That's why Divya Gyan Hridaya Prakashita. It's not brain Prakashita. It's not comes in brain, it comes in heart. So when Prabhupada is writing that one can read, it means that one should read under the guidance. One should read in that consciousness. Because Prabhupada says, Prabhupada told, read my books every day. All his disciples says his disciples to read. Even His Holiness Gopala Krishna Maharaj nowadays he is taking 5th vow. Normally we will not like 4 revelative principles and this and that. Chant 16 round. He said now there is one more vow. What? You have to read every day 1 hour. Give me this vow. So that's what he says. So that's the meaning of Srila Prabhupada. That one can read in home and anywhere, but read under guidance and read with this consciousness. Otherwise we know that so many people are scholar of Bhagavad Gita, but they don't accept Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even what to say this, they are not even proper in their behavior. They can't leave simple intoxications or different things. Yes, Mataji.
I want to say that as an example, I couldn't read Sanskrit when I first started reading Srila Prabhupada's books, but I remember reading that Prabhupada said, if you read every day, then you'll be able to start pronouncing Sanskrit. So you have to have faith in the instructions of the acharyas and also pray. So I did that every day, and my Sanskrit improved over a couple of years or so. But you have to have faith and pray to understand.
So this is commentary.
Yes.
Yeah. So Mataji is saying that she could not read in the beginning Sanskrit shlokas, but Prabhupada told that if one will read every day, then he will be able to read. And Mataji followed that instruction, and now she can read. So again the same principle, you follow the Acharya. Yes, Prabhu.
Somebody asked Prabhupada, what is your success formula? Prabhupada answered that when I was a student, I listened perfectly and seriously. Now I can sing perfectly.
Yeah. Prabhupada, success of formula, Prabhupada himself says that, him in this prayer he says, no, strong faith in Harinam and instruction of his spiritual master. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj told Prabhupada, because he didn't say Prabhupada, but he said others, because he hear nicely, so he will speak nicely. This is the science. If somebody hear, then he can speak. He didn't say because he read nicely, so he can speak nicely. No. He can hear. That's what Lord Chaitanya told. Himself is saying this thing. That because I heard from my authority, that's why I could find out the fault. He didn't say because I know Sanskrit, I know grammar. No, he didn't say this. Clearly he says in this verse, Madhya Leela. So one should keep this, our habit or our desire to hear from proper source. It's very important. Prabhupada write that. From proper authority. Hear it. Then things will come up. By Krishna's arrangement, everything will come in line. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.